Welcome back to my little channel. Today is going to be a small fast video. I really needed to address this. One of the professors of John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Michael Isaacson, a professor tied to the economics department of that school, kind of felt it was okay to say that it's a good thing he feels privileged to teach future dead cops. And somehow that wasn't enough. No, because of that, he got invited to Tucker Carlson, and there he was allowed to explain why he feels Antifa, or anti-fascistic action, you know, the fascists calling them anti-fascists, why that is a good idea. And then he said something that I really needed to point out. I mean, everyone's seen this one already, I'm sure of it. But there's one thing I don't see a lot of people pointing out, so I'm going to point it out now. Oh, and I'm sorry for the first picture, that was a wrong one, but the second picture definitely was Michael Isaacson. Beware though, because there are a lot of professors with that name, but this specific one, that's the idiot. Well, there are more idiots. Fair enough. Never mind that. Let's first hear what he had to say.
What I'm saying is that I believe it is the right for communities to get together to assess what is a threat to them and to defend themselves against that threat.
So give me an example, like what public figure in America right now could be shut down, could have his free speech rights taken away, and could be the subject of violence under the standards you're describing?
Well, I mean, for instance, I think that the framework here of talking about violence as opposed to talking about preserving the very freedoms that you and I both enjoy is a false one. I mean, ultimately, we're talking about a movement that actively advocates against all the fetters of democracy. I mean, we're talking about Richard Spencer, who publishes on altright.com, publishes an article on July 28th by a man named Vincent Law, where the headline was, "To protect free speech, get rid of democracy." We really have to...
You know what? Okay, so let's use that example. I disagree with that. I haven't seen the piece, but it doesn't sound like something I'd agree with.
It's not.
Does Richard Spencer have a right to speak in public?
Richard Spencer is a danger to society. When he speaks in public, what he is doing, he is publicly recruiting people to his very violent movement, very violent ideology.
So does he have a right to speak in public?
I don't think he has a right to speak in public unopposed, and that is ultimately what the purpose of Antifa is to show up and oppose him.
But it's not opposition. You shut people down, you prevent them from speaking, and you commit violence against them. I know a number of people, well, don't tell me it's untrue, I know people who have been knocked down and beaten by people from Antifa. So that is true, it does happen, we have it on tape, we just roll the tape.
Right.
So you're saying, is that justified?
Yes. I believe that communities have the right to defend themselves against threats to their community.
Against ideas they don't like.
No,
they have a right to commit
against
violence.
People who have explicitly said that they want to eliminate those people from our society.
But you're conflating violence with ideas.
No,
if I have not raised my hand to strike you, you have no right to strike me.
But in order to raise your hand to strike me, you have to think that you're going to strike me. And when you are going out in public as a protester, explicitly saying that you want to eliminate most of the people from this country, I believe most of the people in this country have the right to say, no, that's not okay.
Okay, I let it run a bit. I hope you noticed Mr. Mike Isaacson deflecting nearly every question, but I hope you also noticed something that I noticed. Basically, the last bit he said.
But in order to raise your hand to strike me, you have to think that you're going to strike me.
Yes, he clearly said it. Thought crime is a crime too. Precog was not a movie, it's actually an idea by these people. Because before you strike me, you have to think that you're going to strike me, therefore thinking it is a crime. Never mind the fact that even though you didn't strike, and therefore you didn't commit a crime, this person considers it a crime. And he's not the only one on the left that thinks this way. This is a problem. And I know he also said most people are defending themselves because the alt-right wants most people out of America. Calculus isn't his strong suit, which is funny considering that he is a professor in the economics department of that school, but never mind that. He is actually advocating for violence because of thought crime. Let that sink in, people. Do not think wrong or we will attack you. Anyway, this is where I'm going to finish this little video. Like, share and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Criticism is always more than welcome. Let me know what you think, if I did right or if I did wrong, and why. Especially the why bit, because yeah, I didn't like your point is useless. I didn't like your point because blah 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 blah. That might actually help me, and I might actually come back with a good retort. Who knows? Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.